What's up, you guys? So today's conversation is going to be a little different. Today we're going to be talking about my first date with a guy. And boy, oh boy, was that quite an experience. So let's hop straight into it. So pretty much this date happened in 2015, literally about a year after I graduated high school. So I was talking to someone who I met over summer. At a summer job situation that I had. Vibes are chill, vibes are mega, vibes are cool. Like the summer, since we worked in the same department. The same department was kind of easy to chill because we already talked all the time. So it was like building up, and then then I got asked for it to be a hangout. Rewind. So the person I went out with, we were at the same place over the summer. Obviously, just vibe. For me, when I get a job, I at least need one coworker who I can vibe with on more than just a professional level. But that's just someone who likes common interests, stuff like that. It just makes the day go faster, especially when we were pretty much always on the schedule most of the time because we were full-time employees while everyone else is part-time, so it made it kind of easier. So yeah. So we clicked immediately, pretty much. Had conversations every time about the same shows, interests, foods, travel, very similar concepts when it came to certain things. So it just clicked. Never really knew or discussed the topic of sexuality. When we're talking about relationships, we never kind of clarified the gender of our past relationships or past flings or whatever it was. It was always yeah, so-and-so or me and this person. Never dropped a name. We just... my ex, that's how you kind of talk about it. You don't want to give, you don't want to give them power. But anyway, I found a nice cool work friend who became a real friend outside of work and started hanging out and chilling, and just hanging out all the time, going to parks, hitting up restaurants and coffee shops. It was actually pretty quiet. It was nice. It was pretty chill. Now for me, you guys, like I said, my gaydar, where other people, sharp as a tack. But for some reason, I expected everyone to be broken when it came to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's chill. Nothing against it. Nothing, boom, cool. That's awesome. So we just started to hang out. And plus, me personally, my biggest thing is if you're uncertain of a thought or something that you think is a good idea, I always throw it against the wind, and if life agrees with me, it'll blow it back. If it doesn't, it'll blow it away. He's like, so yeah, I don't want this to ruin anything if you don't feel the same way. Me, guys, let's just say I had a type, and he was definitely in that type around what I liked after high school. So I'm like, no, honestly, vibes are there, and but he's also my position, but I didn't really tell anyone, that I was, and he was like, oh, I could just tell off forever. He was there's just I was just hoping. So pretty much me not pushing it away, declining, kind of already confirmed what he already knew. So it kind of gave him a sense of relief. But I was that I like men. So I was okay, cool. Well, yeah, so I want to, maybe we should hang out a little more intimate, and try something, see where this goes. Pretty much it's kind of having a summer fling, but not a fling, but more relationship. So I'm always game, and if things do get odd, we are 19, and I always say we're old enough, we're more mature to just stop before it gets toxic or ruins our friendship, or it's not comfortable for both of us. We've all used that line at ages that we should never use that line, because let's be honest, there are people who are my age now who use that line and still not mature enough. But anyway, so he's yeah, let's go on a date. I'm this is how you ask me to go on a date? He's haha. I'm like, you want though. So honestly, me being the person who I am, I ask me the right way, but not right now. So legit, so it's 4 hours passed, started hanging out. He told me about his ex, a little more about the situation, the conversation, and how that felt uncomfortable. And then she asked me, at the end of the hangout, he asked me, and I'm okay, you know what? It was nice, because we hung out at this one place in the park. He said I always hang out at, where I used to write stories at. So it just made sense. So I said, F it. So I agreed to the lovely date. So we're chatting every day. It's only every day from this moment of just realization and agreement of the date. Yeah, so the next, we're talking at work, we're hanging out outside of work, we're talking Ever since we can get our lunches are together, like everything. So we're just talking, right? But getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. So the day finally come. We ended up going to TGI Fridays, and it was great. They was fun. Like, he was like, "I'll pick you up." Cool. I mean, like, it was very chill. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous. Not only am I going on a date with, but I'm also going to date with the guy for the first time. Now, of course, at the time, like I said, you guys, the world might have known, but I wasn't ready to agree with what the world already knew. So I was still closeted, quote unquote. And I'm like, yeah, let's not go one in town. And he was like, to be fair, it sounds about right, because, just one of those, if you outlived in a town where everybody knew everybody. So I don't have time for people to be in my business. So we went to someone that was like 45 minutes away. And it went phenomenal, guys. Like, I'm laughing, we're chilling, we're over here. I'm not gonna lie, we're just it was nice to feel like it felt real, like it felt right. It felt like this is what I've been missing, like kind of things just aligned. And like for me, it was one of those, because for a while, you guys, prior to this in high school, it was just an uphill battle between me and myself and my brain at the same time. So it was like I did get to the point where some things that I thought I did for other reasons were actually done for other ulterior motives. So it was, let's just say, it was a bit of a challenging life, high school life. But anyway, so we ended up going to, afterwards, went to Cold Stone, got some ice cream. At the time you go, when my sweet tooth was highly active, that's all I used to eat. I love me some Cold Stone. Like, I was just, some with the ice cream, you guys, it just did it. And then we started talking in the parking lot. I believe this was set off my interest in parking lot conversations, to be fair, because this was the first time I actually had a, like, intimate conversation with someone, sat on the hood of the car, and just talked like about each other, about our interests, about our goals, our passions. Like, if we were like more in depth. He grabbed my hand most of the time we were talking and pulled me in. So it was like a lot of hugging, it was a lot of touching, but it was like very intimate, and I enjoy it. Like, love, physical touch is one of my love language already as is. It felt normal, it felt right, it felt great. And for the first time in a long time, from that point, it felt like that was what I needed, what I wanted. And I told him, like, it was well. It went well. It went perfect. This was actually pretty great. Like, honestly, if this happens again, I'd love to. He was like, oh, so you'd be open for the idea of saying, I'm like, yeah. And I said, honestly, I'd be open for this between us to progress. And he kind of was like, oh. And I kind of, and then started, like, trying to hide a smile on his face, but I saw it. At the same time, like, I'm in tune with my emotions, whether it's out of control, whether it's overactive, or it's just simple. I know that I'm overly emotional, so I was already teasing. Like, you could tell I was interested. I'm like, you know what, F it, I'll say whether you. So it was like, we're just talking, just standing there, like, we're standing there for a good, like, 4 minutes of just silence. I'm just like, I'm thinking, like, okay, you gonna do it or I'm gonna do it? He's like, what you mean? I'm like, let's not be coy. Like, either you gonna do it or I'm gonna do it. Either way, someone needs to do it. We gotta break down, like, so. I'm like, but if you're not ready for it, it's cool, it's fine. I'm like, I know you just had this interesting day interacting with the ex. So I'm like, it's fine, cool, just text me. Turn around, walk into the door, pulls me back, kisses me, perfect. And yeah, phenomenal kisser. This is my first whatever, and this started the whole summer relationship with this guy. Throughout the summer with this one person, what made it more interesting, but also challenging, and also like, wow, as stories I'll tell later throughout this journey, is keeping it a secret. That was harder than I thought. It was easy, but it was also hard, because for me, it's like, I wanted some people who I care about, who I hold close, but it's like, at the same time, I was not ready for that yet, and neither was he. So because I believe he was still closeted at the time too, and his ex-boyfriend was not a sick relationship, but they acted more like friends than boyfriend and boyfriend. So, but yeah, guys, that was her first date. It was perfect, but I will tell you more about what happened and how that ended later in the next video. You guys, thank you so much for watching. Love you dearly. Talk to you soon. Bye.